What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB, and more specifically, our Dynasty Trade Review Show. Now, we do this every single weekend. We have 10 trades loaded up today, submitted by you guys in our free Discord. If you are not a member of that Discord, go join it right now, because that's where we're pulling these Dynasty trades from. I cannot do this trade show without my co-host, MFGD, so let's get him into the building, and let's start talking some Dynasty trades. War, how we doing today?
What's up, man? What if I really just came on the video like that, like all somber and like, oh,
Yeah,
the Bears
man,
lost.
it's all
Man,
right.
what's up, man? What's up, man? The Bears lost. That's all
The
good.
Bears lost, and now I have to talk about these Dynasty trades, and my life sucks. Well, you know what? I didn't do this on purpose, and you brought up the Bears thing, but I'm gonna jump right into the first trade. Two Bears right here. We're gonna talk two Bears, so I'm at least gonna give you a chance to do it. 12-team, 1 quarterback, full PPR, no tight end premium, and start 8. Now the team number 1 has the 101 and the 102 in 2026, and they traded away TreVeyon Henderson, Odunze, Theo Johnson, and they get back Omarion, Hampton, and Luther Burden. So I thought this was a very interesting trade. You have the running backs in Hampton and Henderson, and then you have the wide receivers for Chicago in Burden and Odunze. Theo is the filler in on top, but how are you looking at this trade, and how do you feel about it?
I mean, I don't know when this trade is made, but I'm pretty sure this trade probably looks a hell of a lot better than it
Everything was
looked
made this
before.
week. Everything was made
Okay.
this week.
Yeah, so that means that you got one person that's like looking at the future going forward. And we got another person that's still looking at the future, but also is like hedging his bets, because there's some people out there, man. It's like Luther Burden is the true dog of Chicago Bears wide receiver core. DJ Moore might be gone. Odunze got the dropsies. Like, so, I mean, Luther Burden's a dog. So a lot of people out there think that Burden has now surpassed Odunze. TreVeyon Henderson, we all know how he turned it on later in the season. But the biggest thing that we can see here is Omarion Hampton potentially, well, not potentially, I think it's official that they hired Mike McDaniel
Yes,
over there.
official.
So when you look at Achane, you could only wonder how Mike McDaniel could impact a guy like Omarion Hampton. That's why I think Omarion Hampton is going to be the reason why I take that side, because I think out of everybody here that we're looking at, yes, Luther Burden has a super high ceiling, but Omarion Hampton has the opportunity and the super high ceiling and the boost with Mike McDaniel coming in. So, I mean, we could be talking about the potential. Luther Burden, even if everything goes right next season, it's unlikely that he's going to be a top 5 wide receiver. Omarion Hampton with Mike McDaniel, it's a chance that he's a top 5 running back. I shit you not. Even with TreVeyon Henderson on the other side, we know that Mike Vrabel is likely always going to run a 2 running back system. We know that's likely going to happen. Omarion Hampton has a chance to be a true bell cow in that offense with Mike McDaniel at the helm.
Yeah, I mean, you hit on basically everything that I was going to hit on as well, because I do see already a little bit of a market shift and some market reaction for Omarion Hampton post the Mike McDaniel hire. Seems like he's getting a boost in rankings right now for people, and I think a lot of that is because people want him, like you said, to be used like Achane and get the PPR upside in those formats for those teams where he's going to be used in the receiving game just a little bit more. So I think, obviously if you're looking at the running backs based off of last year, I think when healthy, you preferred Hampton. Pre-draft, you probably preferred Hampton over Henderson. Henderson is a player that I still love as a talent, and I still think it's only going to get better for TreVeyon Henderson. Ramondre Stevenson is a free agent in the offseason. Part of me feels like he's played well enough and worked his way in well enough from a professional standpoint with this coaching staff to where they might give him some money to stick around. And maybe he's not a free agent. Maybe he has an out in the contract that they can pick up. I think that's actually what it is there's an out in the contract that they can pick up to keep him on the team. I think they will do that, and I think they'll still use him next year. So I will prefer Hampton over Henderson. I do prefer Rome over Burden still, and I think I do by a decent amount, but not the same gap that I view between Hampton and Henderson. Is Theo Johnson a guy that's going to cover the distance, I think, in a non-tight end premium start 8? Probably not. Probably not an asset that I'm like super excited to get in that type of format, though I like Theo Johnson as a deep dart throw in those tight end premium leagues because he's not super valued right now. But I'm going to take Hampton, and I think I'm going to take Bird. And actually, man, it is so close. It is so close of a deal. Fuck it. I'm going Henderson and Odunze. That's what I'm doing.
Hey man, look, can't fault you for either side. I do want to throw in too. I almost forgot. I'll be remiss if I didn't bring up that the Chargers still do have Najee Harris on the roster coming off IR.
Achilles
But when
tear, is that gonna, affect him that much?
Achilles tear, him not necessarily seeming like the type of running back that will get deployed in a Mike McDaniel offense because he's not like a Raheem Mostert where it's like just explosive and speed and you know what I'm saying, and power and like violence in all of his runs. Najee Harris is more of a, how'd you describe him, Andrew? Like
A plotter that has some receiving ability.
yeah, I was gonna be nicer about it. I was gonna say a jack of all trades, but
A jack of all
oh
trades and a master of none.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, because he's not super powerful. He's not super fast. He doesn't have violent runs. It's kind of just like, hey, I'm your friendly neighborhood running back. So
Yeah, pretty much. And you gotta
yeah,
account too that there's sorry, I'm trying to get my phone back on this stand because I was making sure it was the Achilles. You had the eye injury too. That feels like it was a millennia ago, but he had the eye injury too for Najee. So yeah, I think the more that I look at this, man, it is a very, very fair trade. And I think it comes down to, who do you believe is the biggest difference maker? If for you that's Hampton, maybe I'm higher on Rome still than I think consensus is. I'll ask you quick and easy right here. If you had to pick Burden or Rome in a bubble today, who are you going with?
I would probably pick Rome, but it's on life support.
Is it? I tried to test your gangster last week with that Luther and Rome because I think I offered you. Did I not offer you Luther for Rome, just 1-for-1 straight up, just to see if you had switched?
I think you threw in something else. I can't remember
Was
what
it
it was.
Adonai Mitchell or something?
Yeah, something you did. It wasn't straight up. You threw in a
Just a
little
little
extra.
sprinkle, just maybe enough. We've talked about Adonai before, but
Yeah.
maybe a little sprinkle on top. You declined it, but rightfully so. I still like Rome, but let's move on to the next trade here. The trade that I got is a 12-team Superflex PPR half-point tight end premium and start 10. Team number 1 is rebuilding with 6 first-round picks this year. So they traded away one of them in the 110, the 208, and a 26 second. They got Jordan Addison and RJ Harvey. How do you feel about rebuild this year, all those firsts, moving some of those later ones for proven talent?
Great trade for team number 1. I can't think of a more useless asset than I can't think of a more useless asset than the 10th pick and a 26 first in a 12-team league. See, that was a lot of shit to say, y'all. That's why I had to
Yeah.
start over.
Bro's doing a math equation.
Yeah, like this trade by team 1 is just, they won this shit going away. Like, I'm sorry. Like if I could get Jordan Addison for 1-8, I would trade it. And then those 2 seconds are useless for potentially, hell, not potentially, for the Broncos RB1. This is an open shut case. This is a slam dunk for team 1. Get rid of those fucking paperweights that are these assets in this 26 draft.
I'm pulling back my phone again. I typically try and stay off of my phone when I'm recording, but we did a Superflex mock draft yesterday on the Dynasty Nerds channel. So let's just look at some of these names here that are in that range. The 110, I had the 110 in that draft. I drafted KC Concepcion. He fell down the board just a little bit. Guys in that similar range were Jeremy Bernard and Ty Simpson. Those are kind of like the names that we were looking at the 110. None of those guys today blow me away and get me super excited about the draft pick. Maybe Ty Simpson gets like a late first round team landing spot where he lands with like the Los Angeles Rams and gets to sit behind Matthew Stafford. That piques my interest a lot, but I think that would move him up to like the 107 territory almost immediately in drafts. So that's like something. Maybe the 208s, dude, we're already in no man's land. We were talking Mike Washington out of Arkansas as a running back. We're talking Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. We're talking Nick Singleton from Penn State. Taking dart throws, man. This year's draft class is not. I don't want to like really burn people's feelings about the class because I think there's some talented players at the top. It just gets so thin so quickly this year. And it's not, I like Mendoza. I think Mendoza is going to be a great pick for Dynasty teams. I like Jeremiyah Love. I think Jeremiyah Love is going to be a superstar at the next level. And I think we have 3 wide receivers in Lemon and Tate and Tyson that I think are all great, and a good tight end in Kenyon Sadiq. But after that 107 starts feeling a little second round pickish from previous years. And it's just not what I want. So I myself have been trying to move my later first round picks. And if I got a deal like this in my inbox all day long, 24/7, 365, I am pressing that accept button. I want that. The 110 for RJ Harvey or the 110 for Jordan Addison, I am very okay to press the accept button on that one. That means you're getting the other one for 2 seconds, one of them a late one this year. And I guess the 26 second, I don't know why it's not showing this year's number pick, but to me it doesn't matter. I don't think it really matters. It could be early and I still would take the Jordan Addison and the RJ Harvey side. So that's the side that I want here. Plus, part of the equation here, War, he has 6 firsts. He traded one of them, which means he still has 5 firsts to make trades with or use this year in this draft class.
Keep going, baby. Keep moving them first for assets. Keep doing it.
Yeah, and if you have top 5 picks and want to keep them and draft guys like Tyson or Tate or Mendoza or whatever, use those too, because I think those are great picks for your rookie draft. So let's go on to the next trade. Next trade that I have here is going to be a 10-team Superflex, full PPR, no tight end premium, and start 10. Now, team number 1 says they are going to be a contender in 2026. And I kind of joked about this last offseason with you, War. It's funny how the league always renews. January comes around, and then all of a sudden everybody's a contender this year. I'm going to be a contender this year.
I'm guilty of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny how the fresh year, you could have finished in 9th place, 10th place last year, and all of a sudden it's like, this is the year that I'm the contender, baby. So I'm starting to push the chips in. So let's see what they do with the trade. They ended up moving Malik Nabers, Woody Marks, and the 202. They got Achane, Michael Penix, and the 104. We just talked about that draft class. I definitely still like the picks in that range at the 104, but Malik Nabers is a very big name at the wide receiver position. So's Achane at the running back position, but how do you feel about this deal?
You know what's crazy, man? There's just a lot of... this is a volatile trade. It is. So much of it is impacted by coaching, except Woody Marks, who is okay. He's okay. Achane, no Mike McDaniel. What's going to happen there? Michael Penix Jr., Kevin Stefanski.
Kevin Stefanski, baby. He's so fancy.
All right. Kevin Stefanski. What's going to happen there? Michael Pitt, not Kevin Stefanski, not necessarily the beacon of hope for quarterbacks.
Well, now I said Steven instead of Kevin. Kevin Stefanski may, I think they're going to go with Penix, but something in the back of my mind here, he worked with Kirk Cousins in Minnesota a long time ago, and they had a pretty good working relationship. And part of me is like, is Penix going to have a shorter leash because Stefanski has history with Kirk?
Interesting. Then we got Malik Nabers, John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh isn't necessarily the beacon for wide receivers. It's the beacon for wide receivers. And then we have just a useless 202 for 26. But you know what? The 4th pick in the 26 draft, that has some value. Okay, Achane and Nabers have value too, but I'm talking about the most probably
changes in the air.
Yeah. The 104 is probably like the only asset where it's like, okay, I might be able to, get something going here, because as good as some of those coaches are, none of them are in a position where it's like, we're going to boost up this player. Whoever that guy is who Jeff Hafley going to the Dolphins doesn't raise up Achane. Kevin Stefanski going to Atlanta doesn't raise up Michael Penix. John Harbaugh going to the Giants doesn't raise up Malik Nabers. So it's kind of like, what's going to happen there? Who are they going to get for their offensive coordinators?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a very interesting. Well, Stefanski's going to call the plays, I think, in Atlanta. So he's the offensive coordinator for them, doesn't matter as much. And he hired Tommy Rees, who was the offensive coordinator for Cleveland. So he brought his buddy along from Cleveland.
Wait a minute, bro. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a freaking minute. Are you telling me all these years, as horrible as the Browns' offense has been, that Kevin Stefanski is an offensive coach?
He was the Vikings offensive coordinator before
Oh my
going
God.
to Cleveland. And he is
Their offense
rescinded.
was so bad that I thought he was a defensive coach all this time, bro.
No. He has given up and taken back play calling duties probably 2 or 3 times over the course of the last couple of years, and he's passed them to different people. Okay, my plays aren't working. You call plays. Your plays aren't working. I'm going to call plays again. Oh, wait. I'm going to give him back to you now. And then you give him back. That's what's been happening with Kevin Stefanski over the last couple of years.
Somebody needs Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, so not great. Yeah, Kingsbury's another one too. Didn't he step away from the offensive coordinator role in Washington?
Yeah, he's just floating out there.
And
Doesn't
nobody
seem like he's
even
taking
was like,
interviews.
nobody was interested. It was like, hey, I'm going to go try and chase a bigger opportunity. And everybody said, should have sat your ass down and stayed there in Washington, son. We don't want you.
Yeah.
But
Well, it don't seem like it was too much his choice to stay in Washington.
oh, you think it was a choice to step away because he was going to be let go?
Yeah, like it was like a we don't see eye to eye type of deal.
That would make more sense. Like, let's save your face. I got respect for you, so let's save your face. We won't fire you, but you better step away today. Otherwise, we are going to fire you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, coming back to this trade, I think Achane and Nabers, that's the meat and potatoes of this deal. In a bubble, I still prefer Nabers over Achane in the Dynasty League, obviously. A team that is coming out of a retool, flipping to a contender. I still think the value of the youthful wide receiver is just going to surpass the running back, despite Devon Achane being a guy that has been very, very productive over the last couple of years, but you're right. And I think it needs to be stated, Devon Achane, it seems like he was starting to finally get some respect. You know, guys were starting to throw him up into the top 3, top 4 there, dynasty running backs right behind Bijan and Gibbs. And then he loses Mike McDaniel. And I think that should be something that, while it's not a reason why I'm going to avoid Devon Achane, it is going to be one of those little yellow flags that you plant down in the dirt and say, that could be something to be worried about, you know, with the change from the offensive mind in Mike McDaniel. So I do prefer Nabers there. I think you end up winning the value game, though, the rest of the deal, because Penix against Marks, Superflex, I'm still going to lean with Penix. I don't think Marks is special. And if you want to say, you know, Marks is the better asset than the 202, then Penix versus the 202, probably break even. And then you're looking at Marks or whatever versus the 104. So to me, this is a value game. You're probably going to win the deal, but you better be damn certain you are contending. Look at yourself very, very critically, because if you are not a true contender, I would be flipping Devon Achane, because there's no business in Devon Achane sitting on this roster if you're going to be in the middle of the pack next year. You're going to be a team that's 6th or 5th, and you're going to be trying to scratch into the playoffs. I would just flip Achane for a wide receiver and walk away with your value win of the 104 and Michael Penix and still get a wide receiver that's, you know, equivalent to Achane.
Little did you know, you just gave me advice.
Little did I know. So there you go. All right, let's move on to the next trade here. I got a 14-team Superflex, full PPR, and a tight end premium. He says he is out on Kyren Williams. So he trades away Kyren Williams, Kenneth Walker, and a 27th third, and he gets Ashton, Jeanty. Looking at this deal, 14 teams, how are you feeling about trading the 2 running backs for the 1?
I'm taking Ashton Jeanty. I'm gonna tell you, 14 teams. I want the most talented guy out of everybody. All I see with Williams and Walker are just guys who will only depreciate in their abilities and their standing on their team, because they both have younger or youngish or even just the comparable guys behind them coming up on the roster. The 27th third is probably more valuable than a 26 110. So
Okay, that's a little crazy. I think that might be a little crazy. We ain't there yet.
that's a stretch. But yeah, man, I'm taking the Jeanty side easily.
Yeah. I mean, I think I look at it, and I do slightly disagree on the Kenneth Walker side of your assessment, because with the Zach Charbonnet ACL tear last week in the playoff game, it does open the door, I think, for Kenneth Walker to have a bigger year in 2026 with Seattle, potentially re-signed by Seattle as their number 1 while Charbonnet recovers. And if he doesn't get paid by Seattle, he's a free agent and somebody else can pay him to be their bell cow. So I think he has a little bit of a better outlook, but I do agree with you, and just give me the best player in the deal, the player who's going to have the most liquidity in a trade market. And to me, that's Ashton Jeanty. You're going to be searching for teams that like Kenneth. You're going to be searching for teams that might like Kyren. I would say in your 14-team league, 12 out of the 14 teams probably like Ashton Jeanty at a price point at his market value for the most part. So I think that's part of the game that we play too, man, especially at this time of the year. You know, I was having a conversation with my brother. We play in a league with him, and I was having a conversation with him because he was telling me, oh, I need this position. Oh, I need that position for my team. And I told him, brother, you don't got to set lineups until September. You got 9 months. Right now, you should just be playing the value game. Who's the best player I can get in a deal? What's the best asset that I can use to potentially upgrade in another 2 weeks, in another trade down the road? Like, I'm looking for liquidity. I'm looking for movement. I'm looking for upgrade opportunities. And then when I get to late July, early August, a month away from the season, okay, now what pieces that I've built this value up for the last 7 to 8 months, which pieces can I use now to buy the positions of need so I can start setting proper lineups and being a good contending team right now? So that's the game that we're playing at the early point of the offseason to me. And I think Ashton Jeanty gives you more liquidity, more movement opportunity, more trade options down the line. So I'm going with Ashton Jeanty here. He says he's out on Kyren Williams. I don't know if I would say I'm out on Kyren Williams. Blake Corum got worked in a little bit more this year, and I think that was worrisome for some people. Are you out on Kyren War, or are you still like him at a certain cost?
I'm not out, but I'm not in. I'm not like, oh yeah, let me go get Kyren Williams. Like if I could get Kyren for like 26, 110 or something like that, he's one
That's
of those
what
guys.
I was just gonna ask you. I was gonna say 110 or Kyren Williams.
Yeah, he's one of those guys to let me use these late 26 assets to bring guys in.
Okay, so what if I switched it and I said 108 or Kyren?
That's still in range. Range is 107 and down.
Okay, so you'd be listening to those. If somebody's offering you the 107 for Kyren, are you wanting more on top of Kyren, or are you still willing to go straight up?
And I have the 107, or the person trading me has the 107.
You have the 107. You need running back. They said, here's Kyren for your 107. I'll do that trade today. Are you saying, nah, I need a little bit more?
They say that like the first at the beginning of the negotiations, the first thing I'm asking for, I'm acting like I like 107 more than I really do, and I'm asking for like a 27 second to be thrown in.
Okay. I don't think that's a bad deal. I think that's probably the right way to go. I think if somebody hit me up and said, hey, I want your 107, do you want my running back? I might say, yeah, I do, but I'm also starting to hit up other league mates in my league with running backs that I value a little bit higher than Kyren, and I'm offering the 107. Hey, do you want the 107 for that running back? And then I'm coming back to this guy down the road if none of those go through. So look, man, I'll take Jeanty. There's not much more to it. Let's move on to the next one. What I have here is a 12-team Superflex full PPR league. This is a contending team for Isaiah. Isaiah sends George Pickens in the 102. He gets Patty Mahomes, Quinshon Judkins, and Aaron Jones. So he's buying injury dips right now with Mahomes on the injury for himself, Quinshon Judkins with the injury for himself, and Aaron Jones, I guess you're just buying an old man. But this is what we got right now. How do you feel about a trade like this where Pickens is coming off of a breakout year? And that's the 102 in this year's class. That's not anything to turn your nose at.
I mean, Pickens due for regression, though, in my opinion. I don't think we're gonna see a Pickens like season like we're seeing now. And this would be the best chance if you're going to trade him to use his value. We don't know what Dallas is gonna do in terms of re-signing him. He could end up on the fucking Cleveland Browns for all we know. So, and then your George Pickens dreams are dead. And even if he stays on the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb is definitely going to reclaim his spot as the top wide receiver on that team. There's no way that I don't know what was going on with CeeDee this year.
This banged up, dealing through some injury.
Yeah, letting somebody come down, sit at his table in the house at the head of the table and eat the biggest
Put his
piece
feet
of
on the
chicken.
coffee table, goddamn.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking letting that happen. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, he's coming off an ACL, but I don't think that's going to bother him. I don't think Mahomes' ACL situation is going to bother him at all. Aaron Jones, I see no value in whatsoever. Judkins don't have an ACL, right? Judkins has something else, right?
It was similar to the Godwin injury, the dislocated leg with the fractured fibula. It was like the leg injury with the fracture and the dislocation.
Damn, is that worse than the ACL? That sounds horrible. Start
I
throwing
think it
Godwin out
depends.
there and
It depends. I think it could be. It's tough to tell, man. It's not great. It's not a great injury, but I will tell you, it's one where I've been trying to reach out to Judkins managers in some of my leagues where I need running back and just test the waters to see if there's a decent dip. So I am comfortable buying a dip. I will say the price that I offered was, I think it was one of those same ones where I offered the 110 and a second round pick, or like it was like the 109 and a second round pick, and I was like, if you just want to re-roll this and not deal with an injury next year, because the team that I offered that to was trending in the wrong direction. They weren't trending towards contention. And so I was like, do you really want an injured running back on a rebuilding roster? Probably not. Here, take this rookie pick and take this second round pick. They weren't interested.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna take the Mahomes side. Because I do think Judkins is still super talented, even coming off an injury. Mahomes is Mahomes. He's gonna be a stud. Pickens, digression. Now 102 doesn't make up the gap for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I look at it like this, right? That 102, it says 102 on the board, and I know everybody's looking at it. If your league is idiotic and you get blessed with Jeremiyah Love at 102 because somebody passes on him, home run for the Jeremiyah and the George Pickens side. But I just don't expect that to happen come draft time. I think, to me, right now, should be probably through the majority of this process, Jeremiyah Love is the consensus 101 in a tier of his own. So I do view those 102s like Superflex League. Are we looking at Fernando Mendoza? So it's Fernando Mendoza and George Pickens for Mahomes and Quinshon Judkins. That's kind of how I look at it. And I would take Mahomes over Mendoza. Then it's Pickens and Jones Judkins and Jones for Pickens in the gap. I think you have the value on this side. So not even to mention it's a contending team. A contending team with Mahomes, I feel like, just like you, he's going to be back next year and you're going to be fine. So that 102 in the George Pickens side of the deal is nothing, like I said, to turn your nose at the beginning of this trade, but the format of it being super flex and you being a contending roster, and I think maybe, I won't say weakness of the class, but this year's 102 feels a little 106-ish in previous classes, so I think it's kind of just where we're at with this. But give me the Mahomes and Judkins side. Let's move on to the next trade right here. We got a 10-team super flex, full PPR, and start 10. This is going to be Marvin Harrison and Isaac Tesla and the 104 for Saquon Barkley and the 101, which is Jeremiyah Love. The team that is trading away Marvin says they are super strong at wide receiver. So you move Marvin and the 104, you get Barkley and the 101, throw in Tesla. How you feel?
I feel good. I knew that I would. I feel good. I don't know what the next line of that song is.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's too old. If it's too old for me, it's damn sure too old for you. Saquon, Barkley, and Jeremiah Love, man. What can we say? We don't know what the hell. Even though I do think the future is bright for Marv without Drew Petzing there. The future is bright for Marv.
Well,
But
let's wait until we see who gets hired, because you know who is interviewing for that job?
oh,
Arthur Smith.
oh, okay. I take that back then.
Let's wait.
It's not like they can get Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, that bridge is burned, baby.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Marv. Tesla, I do think he'll get better, but it's Isaac Tesla. We got to see what's going on. Honestly, I think Tesla's a smart buy. Tesla's a guy that I wouldn't mind bringing in. I do think that Detroit dropped the ball not going
Hiring
super
Petzing,
hard.
speaking of Petzing.
Yeah, I do think they dropped the ball with that. So, in fact, I take that back too. Damn it, I take that back too. I don't know. It slipped my mind. In the same breath of me saying, "Oh, thank God Petzing's not there," I forgot that the Lions have Petzing now. So, if we're talking about Arthur Smith and Petzing, then these wide receivers are dead. He got rid of the right ones. Then you got 104, which will bring you another wide receiver, I'm sure, because that's the range of the good wide receivers, right? That should get you another wide receiver, but we got to see how that goes. But in no galaxy I don't care what kind of season Saquon had, he still got some gas left in the tank, goddamn it. In no galaxy are those guys, talent-wise and production-wise, players that I would take over Saquon Barkley. And Saquon might not even be, at this point in his career, the most talented player in this. It might be Jeremiyah Love. So,
Yeah, I think the most valuable asset in this trade is Jeremiyah Love, and he's not even
yeah,
in an NFL uniform right now. He's the most valuable
yeah,
asset. I
I
was
agree.
playing the projection game with myself yesterday, and I was talking to Brandon, one of our buddies that we play Dynasty with, and I was playing the projection game.
Mhm.
I view Jeremiyah as a little bit of a better prospect than I viewed Ashton Jeanty. Now, people in the comment section last week said it's crazy that I'm saying it. I don't care. I'm telling you what I see with my own two eyes. Jeremiyah, I think by June, a month after the NFL draft, I think Jeremiyah Love's a top 20 startup pick. He's going to be a mid-second round startup pick. And if he gets some early training camp buzz of people saying that he looks like a superstar for whatever team he's playing for, I think he could be flirting with first, second round turn startup prices by August. If I'm playing the value game here, Jeremiyah Love's the bet for high-end production, high-end value, high-end liquidity, high-end, everything. Marvin, as much as I still like Marvin and want to believe that Marvin can figure it out at this level, I don't think outside of a miraculous year 3 where Marvin goes super saiyan, I don't see Marvin being a first-round startup pick next year. Jeremiyah can.
Yeah,
So if I'm
Marvin,
looking
that
at those,
is
you
sailed
said
for
what?
right now. I said that ship is sailed for right now.
Yeah,
Let's start
exactly.
Marvin at the startup pick. Yeah.
Like he's at the territory. Do you remember, we got to this way with a couple of guys, but it's like you're entering put up or shut up territory as an asset. Like we
Yeah.
believed in you. You've had high value. You haven't produced. It's time to do it. Otherwise, it's time to go. And I think that's where we're at with Marvin. And we'll see what happens in year 3. Jeremiyah is the best player in this deal. You're strong at wide receiver, so you don't even need Marvin or the wide receiver pick at the 104. Just take the best running back in this class. Take 101 in itself. I'm going with Jeremiyah. I'm going with Saquon. Now, that said, I'm listening to offers on Saquon Barkley. I'm not afraid of moving Saquon if the right offer comes around, but you might not need to because you said you're strong at wide receiver, and it might not hurt just having Saquon Barkley sitting there in your RB2 slot next to Jeremiyah Love, or even in your RB3. I can't remember who he said is his RB1. I might remember correctly. It might be Bijan, but if you had Jeremiyah Love and Bijan, like, come on, brother, we're cooking with gas. So I'm taking that side, and we're not going anywhere other than that. It's a decent offer, though. I don't think it's that bad. Let's go to this trade here. 10-team super flex, PPR, no tight end premium, and start 9. Now, the 26 pick is the 106. The 27 picks, he said, are projected late. So you're trading away Travis Hunter, the 106, and a late 27 second and a late 27 first for Trey McBride and Ricky Pearsall. Trey McBride coming off of a monster season. This is a non-tight end premium league, though. So does that change the way that you feel about paying up for McBride? Or do you think, despite the format, Trey McBride is just him?
I think Trey McBride is format proof. He's format proof. Look at the smile on that guy's face. Look at those choppers. He knows he's format proof. he knows that he tight end premium, tight end schmemium. He's gonna get his. Ricky Pearsall, it's a weird prospect, man. Just his health concerns.
The story of Ricky Pearsall has been so frustrating because, to be honest, I liked Pearsall as a prospect. This guy hasn't got on the field in 2 years, basically. Dude was shot in the preseason before the NFL season, then gets hurt, comes back, hurt again. Brother, are we going to play football, or are we just living on IR there in San Francisco? I mean, most of the teams living on IR there in San Francisco, but can we get on the fucking football field for once?
Yeah, can we? I mean, this guy...
Please? I mean, you got your number 1 wide receiver abandoning the team, and the GM and the head coach are like, yeah, we don't know what the fuck is happening with Brandon Ayuk. And Brandon Ayuk's out here running on the loose like a madman, apparently.
The story of Ricky Pearsall is the opportunity being there and him not being healthy enough to seize it. That's pretty much the story of Ricky Pearsall.
It's the if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Well, Ricky Pearsall wasn't ready, and he had to get ready, and now the opportunity might pass him.
Yeah, I'll look. I was supportive when he got shot. Man. Like, but
I mean,
now,
obviously, you can't. That's nothing nobody can do. I mean, it's just
can't do anything about it. But maybe he can't do anything about the soft tissue injuries he's having either. Andrew, who knows? Maybe it's just his body. But
I get it.
Yeah,
and part of me, it's
pass him
easier
by
said
because
than done
now-
being the guy sitting at home talking about football players. But part of me is like, bro, you might need to just gut up for a second and play a little bit injured this game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just get out there and play a little bit. Like, I don't know. It's tough. because like I said, he hasn't played too much. That said, though, San Francisco played well enough this year that I don't necessarily expect them to be in the range to draft one of the top wide receivers in this year's class. So, Ricky, you might be safe for another season.
Bro, I've never been a over-the-top guy for Ricky Pearsall. Just because of the health, man. But I got to talk about this other side. I'm not that hot on Travis Hunter, man. I'll be honest. He could do as many commercials as he wants to do with little sweet songs with Trevor Lawrence as he wants, which honestly, my own conspiracy theory, which is I think was what's wrong with BTJ, is like, hey, I was there for you the entire season last season, and you're doing commercials with him. So I mean, I think that's
You
probably.
think it's an ego thing? Like my ego got hurt. They're trying to ship
Yeah.
the best buddies with Travis, and Travis just walked in the damn building.
Yeah, and then they had to go get Jacoby Myers too, and extended him. So like honestly, I would have demanded a trade by now, but maybe that's just my ego coming out. But Trey McBride is such a unique talent, man. I could almost like that late 26 first is nothing. I could imagine that 27 second is late. The 27 first,
It's a mid 26 first.
yeah.
It's still in the range where you could grab a Sadiq or one of the wide receivers if somebody likes Sadiq.
Yeah, it is in that range. It is in that range. Now, but the 27's projected late. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess that's him calling his shot, saying his team's getting better for sure.
Maybe.
But that 27 first, we already said that you could get a good asset. I don't know, man. I'm sticking with Trey McBride. I'm probably not. As soon as I see Trey McBride in a trade, I'm probably just turning it down immediately.
Just don't overthink it and grab the good players, and Trey McBride's one of those good players. I don't fault you for that. I think this is one of those interesting ones where I'm like, do I have the ability to potentially cash out on a position that is not a premium position, and the scoring isn't premium here? This is just a standard PPR league for everybody. I'm not opposed because I do think you're getting some decent value on this side. That 27 first, whether it's late or not, is going to be a damn good draft pick. That class is looking ridiculous. You're still in the range where you can grab one of the top prospects in this year's class in the 106. And Travis Hunter, if you think he bounces back. I'm not as firm on my beliefs that he's a guy that ends up being a high-end producer for fantasy football, but some people are. I'm not opposed to the move here of tearing off of McBride in a non-tight end premium and getting multiple firsts and a wide receiver here. But then I also see McBride and Pearsall, and the fact that we're looking at Pearsall, like not even really talking about him that much as a value piece, tells you that he's probably a buy if you have any sort of belief still in him, because it feels like he's dirt cheap. The best player in the deal is McBride. I think the best production part of this deal, if you're looking for production right now this year, is going to be the McBride side. There's a chance that Hunter in that 2 first side of the deal ends up being the one a year down the road, 2 years down the road says, gotcha. Because we talked about it with Achane War. You know, you got a guy there in Mike McDaniel that's feeding you the football. Petzing's gone. The offensive coordinator out of the building, the head coach out of the building. Jacoby Brissett, the guy who was feeding McBride the football, a free agent as well. The only quarterback there is Kyler Murray. Whether you like it or not, Kyler Murray is the only quarterback under contract right now. With the coaching and the quarterback changing back to Kyler, do we look at McBride as a potential regression candidate?
I mean, but McBride was doing his thing with Kyler there.
He was, but he really put it on at the end of the year when it was Jacoby.
I think the person who's going to regress the most out of this is Michael Wilson.
Well, I just made a video yesterday calling him a sell, and people were like, I'm not selling Michael Wilson. Okay, keep him. I don't care. But look, yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. I just wanted to paint that picture just for people to think about at home, because this deal is done, but maybe some people are sitting and thinking about that, or have McBride, and that gives them something to think about. You're obviously not selling low on him at all, but just thought that would be worth talking about. So let's go to this trade right here. This is a 12-team, 1 quarterback, half PPR, tight end premium, and start 9. So 1 QB, no super flex here. RJ Harvey and a 27 first-round pick plus the 201 in 2026 for Tetairoa McMillan, Quentin Johnston, and the 211. So you're looking at this trade here, Harvey a first and an early second for T-Mac, the 211, and QJ. What are you thinking?
The 26 first, man, really stands out. Man, Ted is a dog, bro. Like,
best player in this deal.
Yeah, I think, and I'm going to ask you, Andrew, because you were strong on being the tech guy going into the draft. Do you think because we know he had a decent season for a rookie, but do you think he did what you wanted him to do, or do you think he's failed just a hair short of what you expected out of him?
I don't think he failed, man. I think he's a player that, based off of the situation he landed in, let's be honest, nobody looked at Carolina and said Carolina was going to be this elite landing spot for production. It was a elite landing spot for opportunity, but I don't think anybody was like, Carolina's the landing spot for wide receiver. When I look at what Tetairoa McMillan did this year, we're talking about a player who went for, 70 receptions for 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. That is a good wide receiver season, man. We had 1,000 yards from a rook. That just doesn't come walking around every single season. So
No,
I'm going to take, I like what we saw out of T-Mac. He's a player that I definitely like. Think that there's still more to come from T-Mac, and I think he could benefit from probably another couple additions to this offense, probably a little bit on the offensive line to keep protecting Bryce, keep Bryce upright, could do well with another receiving mate alongside him, because for the most part, it was T-Mac by himself most of the year. Even the Jalen Coker fans know that Jalen Coker didn't play that much this season. He was injured a lot of the time. JT Sanders didn't play a lot this year. There was just the other guy was Xavier Legette. Like, come on, man. Like, we gotta get some extra help here and start getting the defense off of T-Mac, because he was getting double teamed at times and was still putting up numbers. So I like what we saw out of T-Mac. He's a player that I think still should be very coveted in Dynasty. But on the same side of things, I do think RJ Harvey is a player that I did like last year. He got the draft capital and the landing spot bump for me. I was higher than consensus, and then he got that draft capital, and then everybody was higher than consensus because you just moved him up your board. I kind of like the outlook for RJ Harvey in year 2. I think he could get, he's one of those running backs that I think is undervalued right now. Early in the offseason, while people's minds are not necessarily projecting all the way into week 1 of 2026, he's a player that I think is a little bit undervalued in the market. So, this trade for me, T-Mac's the best player. That 27 first really makes things interesting, especially because we don't know where it's going to be. It's from Lewis Carr, so I'm assuming if he's trading it away, he feels as if it's late. I think your value might be slightly leaning towards the RJ Harvey side of this deal, but I'm trying to think of like movement. 2026 seconds, I cannot move. I cannot move them, dude. I've been trying to move these seconds in my leagues. Nobody wants them. So really, how valuable is it if nobody wants it?
I'm gonna tell you something, Andrew. 'Cause I'm pretty sure you've seen my message.
I say all that to summarize at the end. I'm taking the T-Mac side.
Yeah, I think I'm taking that side too. Like, as much as I like 27 first, I think Tet is probably more valuable than RJ Harvey and the 27 first. That's the main
You think
thing
so?
here. Yeah, kinda. I think the ceiling is really high. I don't think RJ Harvey is gonna become like a Bijan or Achane or anything
No.
like that.
No.
If I felt like that, then I wouldn't feel like this. But I think Tet has a chance to like become like one of the best wide receivers in the league. Just
I
starting
think
off.
Tetairoa McMillan's ceiling is to elevate into the Drake London tier.
Yeah. And I'd probably trade a 20, especially without me knowing where that 27 first is going to land. Because if we're talking about 112 or something like that, then I'm really feeling good about Tet for RJ Harvey in 27 first. But in regards to those seconds, how you said you can't move those 26 seconds, and I'm sure you've seen my public service announcement in multiple leagues about, because I'm just not gonna.
These people in our league were making fun of you, and
I
I jumped in just for fun
see
too.
you.
But yeah,
I
no,
see
just
ya.
for the folks at home, War said, "Text me your trade offers. Don't send them in the app." And then everybody said, "Well, you can send mine by mail." Somebody said, "You can send mine by pigeon." I said, "You can fax me your trade offers if you want to." It became a whole thing. But as you were saying,
because I go in there, I send my offers out. People either reject them instantly or leave them sitting there. So I say, you know what, man? Like you said, Andrew, it's early in the season. Like, I'm trying to get out of making like early off-season trades and then getting closer to the season and saying, F, why did I do that? So I'm just like, look, right now, I'll stick my toe in the water, but like if anybody wants to hit me, just go ahead and hit me. But in regards to that league in particular, because that's what's going to make this comment. So when it comes to 26 first, when you're going around, this will help a lot of our viewers. When you're going around, you're like, man, I'm trying to get these trades done and nobody wants these picks. At what point do you just sit there and say, you know what? I'm just going to dig my heels in. Let me research the shit out of this draft and just get as many of these guys. I hope I get, because here's the thing. Here's what's not being said that we're gonna say. Yes, we've seen this before. The 26 draft is garbage. But I guarantee you there's gonna be some guy in the late second round or the early third or like some shit like that where like, a Puka Nakua type guy where it's like, oh, I didn't see that coming. And I mean, the best thing you can do if you can't move those picks, you should even consider moving 26 seconds for 27 thirds. If somebody give you that, honestly, I'd consider it. But if you just can't get anything done, just dig your heels in and research the shit out of this draft and see if you can get some diamonds in the rough. This is a dart throw draft. Like Andrew said, you got about 6 guys where it's like you feel really good about. Everything else after is dart throw. So Danny, get out there and throw those damn darts.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I said that in our mock draft that we did yesterday. Is it felt like after 107, 108, like the draft kind of opened up and it was like, who do you like? Who does your league mate like? Who was, the guys that I was drafting against, who do they like? Because it could be anybody's draft at that point. Like you could probably look at our draft. I guarantee it. Go look at our draft that we did on Dynasty Nerds and go look at somebody else's in the industry. And I promise you, after the 6th or 7th pick in that draft, it starts looking way different no matter who you're talking to, because everybody's looking at this class differently after those guys. Those are the top 6 are the only ones that are like consensusly at the top. So, I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, like, to kind of come back to your point of, what do you do if you can't move them? You can't move them today. You got until the end of April, until the NFL draft. So Senior Bowl is coming up next week. Senior Bowl will be there. People are going to start getting eyes on prospects. We're going to get Senior Bowl highlights. All your favorite analysts are going to start tweeting about how this guy's the fucking sleeper of the Senior Bowl and he's going to be a superstar at the next level. That's going to start next week. You're going to get the NFL Combine coming around. Whether people agree with the class being good or not, the one thing that is inevitable is the class will get talked about more and more and more all the way up until the NFL draft. So yeah, you may not be able to move them today. Wait a month. Next month, try it again. Try and sell those guys for the same guys that you were just trying to sell them for right now. People's buzz might be a little bit higher because of the, the chatter on the internet of whatever XYZ analyst. So, you can be patient with these picks. You don't have to move them today. My one advice to even you and, some of the other managers here is early offseason for me right now, probably now until like Valentine's Day, I'm probably looking at my rosters and saying, okay, I don't need to do anything with these for the most part, but what are the assets on my roster that I believe will lose value over the offseason?
Bingo. The aging assets, yes.
Just look for those guys or guys that you think like, hey, Michael Wilson, he's not an aging asset, but you're like, hey, he ended the season hot. I want to trade him right now while it's the top of everybody's mind, because as we get to August, people are going to forget that Michael Wilson had a good season, last year and not care as much.
Wandale.
Exactly. So think about the players that you think are, overvalued right now, going to lose value, and just pick a couple of those off of your rosters. You don't got to trade everybody. You don't got to do everything. Just pick the guys you think are going to lose value, or you think the guys that are overvalued, and just start making moves for those guys. Try and sell right now. And just you don't even have to do anything crazy. Just get liquid, go do whatever you need to, and do that. So that's what I've been doing is I've been going through my rosters and saying like, okay, 6 months from now, I think he's going to be ranked lower. I'm going to move him. 7 months from now, he's probably ranked lower. I'm going to move him right now because I'm trying to project the market. That's what you need to be trying to do right now is how is the community going to react to these players? Not necessarily how do you believe these players are going to react, because here's the game that we play. And this is maybe a bigger video in itself. And if anybody listening to this rant at the moment wants, a full video on this one, maybe I can do one. But it's trying to balance market projection and then pair your thoughts and your projections into market analysis, and then trying to project that and be able to get ahead of the market and get those value wins by doing it correctly. You're going to miss, but you're also going to get some right. It's a matter of, how many times can you shoot that shot and what is your free throw percentage? Like that's what we're playing here. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, whatever. So I'm going to take the T-Max side and we'll move on to this trade right here. We'll speed through. I think we got like 2 more. We'll try and go a little bit quicker on these ones because we've been yapping today. 12 team, super flex, full PPR, contending team. The contending team is trading away the 107, the 112, Dak Prescott, and a 27 second. The team that is contending is getting the 103, Marvin Harrison and Anthony Richardson. War, what do you think?
I forgot Anthony Richardson was in the NFL. That's what I said.
Well,
Man,
they
I
just
see you
posted
again
they
here.
just posted yesterday highlights of him at the YMCA hooping.
Yeah, he better go to the G League then, because I don't know. I don't know what the hell he finna do. Oh man, why, bro?
Anthony
Okay, man.
Richardson or that 27 second right now?
That 27 second all day long,
Yeah.
bro. Bro, hold on, bro. Let me wrap my head around this. Let me get serious, bro. Let me wrap my head around this. Team 1, Isaiah is the contending team.
Correct.
And he acquired
A-Rich
Anthony Richardson,
and Marvin.
Marvin Harrison, a 103. So not Jeremiyah Love, but a 103.
Yeah,
He gave
probably
away
one of the wide
Dak,
receivers.
bro. The Dak Prescott hate gotta stop, bro. Like, what are you doing, Isaiah? Isaiah, what are you doing? You're contending and you traded away Dak of all the and you got back Anthony Richardson
In a super flex.
in a super flex league. Okay, man, look. I understand we've been talking about how shitty the 26 first round picks are. I get it. Dak Prescott, I don't care how old he is the most valuable player in this trade. And if I'm a
I
contender,
don't agree with that. I think it's going to be the 103 or Marv, one of those guys, just from a value standpoint. But I think from a production standpoint, he's the highest producer here.
I'm talking about as far as somebody who's saying that they're a contending team.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
If
So
somebody-
not dynasty value, but
Yeah,
production
not dynasty
value.
wise. Yeah. No, like as a contender, he's the most valuable player in this trade. Like if your goal is I want to win a championship, because if you're a contender, that's your goal. Championship. You want to acquire Dak Prescott, not trade away Dak Prescott, especially not for Anthony Richardson. I'm assuming that you have 3 other good quarterbacks on this team. I'm going to make that assumption because you acquired the most dartiest of dart throws. Like, honestly, what do you keep? Yeah, bro, I can't wrap my mind around this. I'm really trying to, because I'm like, so are you trading Andrew Screw? Because I know you said speed through this, but but I need to insult this some more. Screw trading Anthony
He says
Richardson.
by the way, he says his other quarterback is Caleb Williams. That's the only other quarterback he listed.
I love Caleb, but come on, man. Don't put the whole weight of your team on Caleb's back. Like, don't put the yeah, Andrew, I'm done. I'm sorry. I understand the value aspect of it, but for the context, that side loses.
Okay, hold on. Very important piece of context here.
Okay.
You remember that Mahomes trade earlier? The guy who
Oh.
traded Pickens for Mahomes?
Yeah.
Isaiah was the guy who traded Pickens for Mahomes. So he has Mahomes now. This is probably a secondary move. He traded for Mahomes, so he has Caleb and Mahomes, and now he traded Dak.
Okay, so he traded both of the Cowboys off of the team. Okay.
And then he said he was strong at wide receiver. So he got, okay. Yeah, it's kind of the double trade, which is hard to follow along sometimes when you give us like an original team and then you make 2 moves. If I'm looking at it right, it's going to be Caleb Williams and Mahomes. It's going to be Nabers, Marvin, Olave now at wide receiver. His running backs are going to be Gibbs and Judkins. That's his team, from my understanding.
Well, that makes me feel a little bit better. But Isaiah, you still gonna have to get your ass in the comment section to explain why you acquiring Anthony Richardson in 2026. You're gonna have to explain that.
Here's my one thing that I'll bring up, because while I agree, I think your starting lineup is getting better.
Don't do it,
What?
Andrew.
Well, here's my
Say
thing is
he's
while
a follow candidate. Don't do it.
No. We've done that before. I don't need to do that again. While I agree that your starting lineup is getting better, you're trading away Dak and multiple firsts in these deals. You traded away the 102, the 107, the 112. You traded away George Pickens. You are getting better as a starting lineup. You are losing a lot of your depth. And I don't know what your depth is on this team, but the fact that your original statement was you were starting Josh Downs and Kenny Gainwell makes me feel like the depth wasn't great to begin with. And now it looks like a team that's starting to shed draft capital and consolidate into starters, where it's going to make your team very volatile at the next portion of this contending roster, because you are say Mahomes gets a little setback. All of a sudden, Anthony Richardson's your starting quarterback. Say all of a sudden, Quinshon Judkins, you bought Quinshon Judkins in that last trade. Setback, doesn't play that well next year. Kenny Gainwell's your starting RB2.
Yeah.
Like, this is where we're at, man, and it gets scary quick. It gets dark outside, man, and I think right now we're at a point where I understand getting these younger high-end assets. You may need to start tearing some of these off or tearing some of these down because we're getting real shallow real quick, and in a 12-team superflex, some people are gonna say depth doesn't matter. It matters. It matters. You need to have guys to plug in and play because every team is going to deal with injury. Every team is going to have to plug in these guys on bye weeks. You need to have some guys that you can play. I think the most value in this trade is probably like dynasty value wise. I think it's close. I really am viewing Anthony Richardson as a nothing burger in this deal for me. 107 and the 112 for the 103. I probably prefer the 103. Prescott for Marvin. I probably prefer Marv. I think value wise you win here, but I don't know if I'm following along well enough for the roster construction.
Yeah, me either. And because this is the guy in the earlier trade who had 6 picks, right?
No, that was a
No?
different guy. Yeah, that was a different guy.
Okay. Oh, well. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Well, overall, I agree with Andrew. Like, you're
This is the
making your
guy who
team.
traded for Quinshon Judkins and Aaron Jones and Mahomes. He traded away the 102 and Pickens.
Yeah, Aaron Jones is not reliable depth. He's not a reliable depth piece.
No.
He's okay to have on the team as a platoon of players that you can use as depth. But like Andrew said, if Judkins starts off slow or he's not able to, like, perform right away, you're going to have to put Aaron Jones in there. Aaron Jones might not be able to perform. Andrew's a Vikings fan. He'll tell you he's probably not going to be performing even as good as he did this year. And this year wasn't his best year. So
as a Vikings fan, I'm praying to God that they end up being in a position where they can click draft on Jeremiyah Love. That's what I want. I want us to draft a running back in Jeremiyah Love. I don't even want Aaron Jones to be the starter next year.
I believe you. It's about time the Vikings got them like a legit running back.
Let me go get another AP, man. Let me get AP back in the fucking, or Dalvin, you know what I mean? We haven't had our guy for a while, but look, Isaiah, I want to apologize because I think there's probably a process here that I did a bad job laying them up to. I probably should have put your trades back to back so we would have had the context fresh in mind. So I apologize for that, but I'm trying to look at them in a bubble, and maybe I'm just not following along well enough. So there could be some added to that. But like War said, or MFG D said, go ahead and throw something in the comment section, and I'll get you a response in the comment section as well. So let's go on to the next trade. The next trade that I got is a 10-team Superflex, half PPR, start 10. I think this is the last one of the day, so we'll get this one knocked out. We are at an hour and 10. We've been talking, man. It says he has May, Caleb, and T-Law already on the team. So he traded away Jaxson, Dart, Trey Harris, Kyle Williams, Michael Wilson, and the 109. He gets Tetairoa McMillan, the 309, a 26 third, and a 27 second. It is a 10 team. He is deep at the quarterback, but did he overpay for T-Mac?
Yeah, he did. And it sucks because in its totality, all the assets that he gave away in the trade, outside of Dart, all the assets he gave away don't really, like, they're all guys where we either would shrug our shoulders at or, say, hey, he's a sell high. Like Michael Wilson, you already said that he's a sell high. Trey Harris, you told me the other day you're not worried about him when it comes to Lad McConkey. Kyle Williams, he's a dart throw, no pun intended. And 109 is in the range of picks that we're trying to trade away. Jaxson Dart is by far the most valuable asset on that side.
So that's what I was going to ask you, actually. You said on that side, is Dart the most valuable in the deal?
Yeah. I mean, when you put it like that, honestly, if this was just Dart for McMillan straight up, I would be more comfortable.
Well, that's what I was going to get at, because I'm sitting here, like, I'm playing the game in my mind, right? I'm like, okay, so let's go redraft that 2025 rookie class. That might be a fun video to do as well. But, like, let's go redraft the 2025 rookie class now that the season is over. Is Dart the 101? Or at least, is he ahead of Tetairoa McMillan in Superflex?
Yeah.
I think Dart probably is 101 or 102. In my opinion, in a Superflex format. I think you can still argue Ashton Jeanty over Dart, but there's a chance that Dart is the number one pick in a Superflex format based off of how that quarterback class has developed so far. And because of that, if I'm already thinking, like, even if we view Dart and T-Mac as even, let's just say that Dart's not better, they're even. I think that's fair. Take them out. It's Michael Wilson, Trey Harris, Kyle Williams, and the 109 for the 309, a 26 third, and his 27 second. There's a clear winner there. So my point being, you have excess quarterback. You have May, you have Caleb, you have T-Law, you had Dart. You were swimming in riches at the quarterback position in a Superflex league where quarterback is king. It's 10 teams, so a little bit less, but quarterback is king in Superflex. This is going to be a reminder trade, I think, for some people. While, yes, you probably got a guy that you're going to plug into your lineup because you probably weren't going to play Dart most weeks over Caleb and May. I think you're going to start those guys every week over Jaxson Dart. Yes, T-Mac is going to hit the starting lineup. This is a reminder. Just because you're swimming in riches doesn't mean that you need to give discounts to get things off your team. That's just not the way to do business. I think more than fair to go Dart for McMillan straight across 1-for-1. If you need to overpay a little bit, Dart and Michael Wilson for T-Mac should have got the deal done. I don't know why we had to throw in a first-round pick to get a second and a couple thirds in this year's draft class. Like, not what I would have done. You overpaid. I like the roster construction aspect of you moving off the QB to get the wide receiver. You overpaid a lot, I think. You basically gave away a first-round pick you didn't need to give up, in my opinion.
Look, I can't be the pot calling the kettle black. This is a classic bad war trade. You know it. I know it. You've known that I've been guilty of this.
I think I saw a Jaxson Dart move like this earlier last year.
They gamblers, yeah. This is almost the exact thing. Me selling the farm for all just for like either maybe like to get Malik Nabers or something like that. Here's the problem with that. The problem's gonna come in when you get into the weeds and you realize, damn, I traded away too much. Let me trade away Tet to recoup some of my assets. That's where the problem is going to come in. So, yeah, man, good luck to you. But, yeah, man, you made a bad war deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think you undervalue the position because you had excess at it. And that can happen at times. I get it. So this is just a reminder and a caution to others that, like, just because you have so many players at one position doesn't mean that position should be devalued to your league. That position maybe has less value to you, but that doesn't mean that you should trade them away at a lesser value. So that is where we are at. That is the last trade of the deal or of the day. So appreciate everybody for the submissions. As always, those are in the Discord, free to join. So if you haven't joined the Discord, go join that Discord. We do this every single Saturday. So all week long, any deal that you make, you just give me a screenshot, some context, make sure it's nice and clean, nice and pretty, put it in there. I'm gonna pull it and you might have a chance to be on next week's episode. So go do that for me. I've been making some moves. As I get a couple of more of these moves under my belt, I might do a video where it's like, these are 10 Dynasty trades that I made this week and let you guys kind of see what I've been doing. Maybe not this week, this month is what I usually name it because I usually make these trades all in 1 month. But yeah, man, that's where we're at. If you enjoyed the content today, do me the favor, hit the like button. It is the best free way to show this channel some support. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed. We got a goal of 10,000 subscribers by this summer. So, we got a couple months to get there, NFL draft to get through, things like that. Lots of content on the way. If you are watching this channel and you are not subscribed, there's quite a few of you. I've seen the subscribed and not subscribed numbers over on my analytics. If you're watching this and you are not subscribed, shame on you. Go hit that subscribe button, man. It does nothing bad for you. You get our content in your feed all the time. And I promise, if you're watching this show, you like it. If you're watching this outro, you definitely like it because you watched an hour of it. So appreciate you guys. Other than that, I have nothing else for you guys today. Ward, you got anything for the people?
Yep. Come check me out on our channel, The Crimson Mask Show. That's where we do our long form content. Come check us out on Crimson Mask Pro Wrestling. We're trying to get the 5,000 subscribers. We've been trying to get the 5,000 subscribers since who knows. But we've been right there. But yeah, just show support. And we're gonna be coming out with more and more content here soon. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving.
Let's do it, man. Go show them some love. We'll see you guys on next week's episode. I will see you later this week for some more solo content, but we'll see you next week. Until then, peace out.